neighborhood in a small city in north-central Spain. And I learned about it because I follow a couple of Spanish language sites, and I noticed that all the radical groups were writing statements about it. Gamonal it was. And it's in Burgos, which is about 150 miles north of Madrid. I was wondering why they thought it was so important. So here it is. You can see why you get excited about it. There was a rebellion, and the rebellion took place in this working class neighborhood in a city in Spain that wasn't particularly special. In fact, it had a right-wing government. So, and there they are. It looks like something, huh? The city itself has a right-wing government. It's not a particularly radical part of Spain. I'll show you a little bit more about that as we go along. But this was the issue that brought out the struggle. They were going to build this thing down the center line. Looks nice, right? Bicycles and stuff like that. Why would they get mad about that? Well, except that it cost 8 million euros, and 80% of the people living in this neighborhood, which is all like that. It's a working class neighborhood that sprung up out where they built industry. But now they're all out of work, so because since 2008, everybody's been out of work. So they're saying, why are we spending 8 million euro, $11 million to fix up this road? And not only that, turns out they lose their parking spots. So what can they do? Well, they can buy a parking spot for 20,000 euros. They can have it for the next 40 years. So that pissed them off. So now they want to stop it over there. So this thing here, look, let's go a little back into Spain. So you see where it is. This is Madrid, and that's Burgos. That's that town in... This is Spain and Portugal here, right? I like to use maps. Yeah. And this is a political scene in the map, because this tells you the language groups, which also means the language minorities are also national minorities who are fighting for self-determination and feel oppressed under the central Spanish government. So there's the Galicians, the Basques, who you know have had an armed struggle even, and the Catalonians. And all, okay. And also the people in the Canary Islands who are close to Africa, North Africans. But Burgos is not part of those oppressed communities. It's part of the central part of Spain. It's near the Basque Country. In fact, in the Basque Country, just about 2 weeks ago, there was a demonstration for the political prisoners that the central government said nobody can come out on the street. So 130,000 people came out in Bilbao, and they decided no. So if this had happened in the Basque Country, it might not have been a surprise, but here it was a surprise. So this is the way the left in Spain saw the map. That's Gamonal. And this is the way the rest of the Spain is. Now, why do they see Spain, all of the Spanish state, which I call the Spanish state because it's just like we don't say the United States as a nation. This is like five or six people over there. It's because in all of Spain, 25% of the people have been unemployed since 2010 at least. Youth unemployment's more than 50%. There are daily evictions from housing, because just like in the rest of the world, most of the rest of the world, the rest of the capitalist world, the banks control everything. They made all those loans during a big building boom that was just like the boom here, worse maybe. And then there was a big bust, just like the bust here. So people are still being thrown out of their homes. Someone told me that almost every adult between 30 and 55 in Gamonal is living with their parents. If their parents are still alive and they have an income from pensions, and now the pensions are frozen. Okay. Unemployment insurance is under attack. Healthcare is under attack. They're dismantling the healthcare system. This is throughout all of the Spanish state. It sounds like Detroit, right? Sounds like Detroit and another certain poor communities of the United States. It's not quite as bad over here yet as in Spain because, I mean, Spain doesn't even have control of their own currency. The euro is the currency, so they can't take steps, just like Greece and Portugal can't, to try and make up for the, I mean, the U.S. has the big advantage it can print its own currency. So as bad as things are here, it's gone down faster in Spain. So the left in Spain sees the whole place as a tinderbox, and they're wondering, when is there going to be a fight back? See? So this stuff happened in Gamonal, and they're thinking, maybe this is it. Just like when we saw Wisconsin or something like that, or even the windows and doors struggle. Is this going to be the spark? But it's even hotter over there. Well, it's because as what they said, the revolution starts in Gamonal. You know? Oh, you can hiss and boo now. This is the mayor, who unfortunately has the name of being called Javier Lacalle. So everyone was joking that Lacalle, the street, beat Lacalle, the mayor. But he is a right-wing mouth. You'll see how right-wing when I say something about him later. Remind me if I forget. But he, of course, is the politician. Behind the politician, or who he serves, is this guy. This is Pozo. Delinquente. He's a criminal. And he's the guy who owns the construction work, and he's making the money out of the construction that nobody wants except him and the Popular Party. Popular Party is the right-wing party in Spain. It's sort of that, because they can't call themselves the Falange anymore. They can't. It's the Tea Party, yes. And this says he does what he wants, only it's gender specific, so I won't translate it. And this is the good guy. He's one of the main spokespeople for the neighborhood, what they call the residents. They call them the vecinos, the neighbors. And this is the people, see? Now this kind of thing happened, see, and then all the ruling class in Spain, and especially the mayor over there, said, oh, it's all those radicals coming over. They're causing all the trouble. They're causing the violence like this. This is terrible. They set a couple of cardboard things on fire. And this was like in the press, violence, terrorists are coming in, they're taking over. The only problem is they arrested 46 people and all of them lived there. And this is what the demonstrations look like. Yeah, that's the terrorist coming in over here. So the whole neighborhood is up in arms, see? That's a kid, yeah, the whole family's done. And they're also saying it's like the straw has broken the camel's back, or it's the drop, they say in Spanish, the drop that overruns the vase. So there they are. Another thing that you'll see is the self-organization of the community. Of course, I mean, they have a history, of course. Like every working class community in Spain, there's a history of struggle. You know, I mean, going back to the Civil War, and then after the Civil War under Franco, and then after Franco died, and there was what they called a transition, which was sort of a handover to a bourgeois democratic government, but not that democratic. And so there's traditions of struggle, but there's also, since 80% are unemployed, they're out there. They can do what they want. They meet in the morning. They meet in the afternoon. They have workers' assembly. They have people's assemblies like that. That's another funny thing with the names. This was called Calle Victoria, the big boulevard, but that was Victoria was the victory of the fascists in the Civil War. So they call it the Calle de Victoria, the street of the victory, which meaning their victory because they stopped the construction. So there were solidarity demonstrations in 46 cities in Spain, including in all the oppressed areas, you know, the regions that fight for self-determination, Galicia and the Basque Country, but in the big cities too, in Madrid and in Barcelona, there were these solidarity actions. So, and we'll leave that up. That's my last picture. So I will just talk now for a minute or two, just to say that A struggle like this, you don't know how far it's going to go. But you could see how it applies, that the conditions that the people are living in apply everywhere from Athens to Detroit. And so not only throughout the entire Spanish state could this apply. Is everyone hoping, or the left is hoping, that it's going to be emulated and sparked and do something like that. In fact, one group that we're friendly with, when they wrote about it, they ended up by saying, oh, we're going to paraphrase Che Guevara, and we're going to say 2, 3, many Gamonals, you know? And that's what they're hoping that they have over there. And we can see that it has lessons for us over here. I mean, the comrades are making a great struggle in Boston that started out as a defense. It still is in a defensive mode. But it has the potential for spilling over. And once you win, I mean, you don't know when when the masses are going to begin to struggle. Things get bad. But that isn't always what makes it happen. I mean, look what sparked it in Gamonal, the stupid thing that they were going to build a nice little, bicycle thing. Just that, it was just like, no, we don't want that. You're pissing us off. That's not what we asked for. And that was the thing that sparked it. So what is going to spark it here or in those other places? And a victory can do it. I mean, the comrades in Detroit, too, they won a victory by a good courtroom battle and by continually mobilizing. Have the masses come out? No. But might they at some point? Well, we hope so. This is what we're looking for all the time. We try to structure our organization so that the masses can go into a movement that is independent of the bourgeois political parties. Oh, I forgot to tell you about the mayor. You know what he did today? He authorized a public exhibition to honor a general, Yeguwe, who's dead from the Civil War, the one who carried out all the massacres of the Republicans. So this is like a direct provocation. It's like he was so pissed off that he had to retreat. Because he retreated because they wouldn't let him move the machinery into they just had the people out there all the time. They had a couple thousand people out there. He couldn't move he was so pissed off about it, or he and maybe Pozo. Pozo means well, by the way, so a pit. I can see the money going into the pit. And so he's provoked the people. Maybe that'll provoke a little bit more, because there's, it's not an easy struggle in Spain, just like it's not an easy struggle here. There is remnants of the fascists did win the Civil War, and there is remnants of that, but there's also a potentially strong worker struggle that has been relatively dormant for the last 10 or 15 years and has the possibility in this time of taking a lead in what's going on in Europe, because what's going on there is like what's going on here, different in different countries. But, and if something big happens there, that can be an inspiration here too. Thank you very much.